how to speak like a man. Or the man. And that doesn't mean putting your chin down and trying to have a really low voice. Because I know men that have low voices and still don't speak like men. So you want to be a man that says what you mean and mean what you say. So that means you have to be opinionated. You have to have opinions about stuff, which means you need to have knowledge. And you need to be brushing up on knowledge consistently, staying up to date with what's going on, so you can formulate opinions. Anyone who signs out and goes, I ain't got time for that, they're lazy. You've got to be relevant. You've got to stay in tune and up to date with what's going on, because that will give you knowledge. And knowledge is power. Ignore what Cersei said in Game of Thrones about power being power. Of course, that's obvious. But what you know and what you can give an opinion on will show that you are confident in your own thoughts. You are confident to give an opinion. You're not hiding, you're not scared, you're not sat back, you're not holding your tongue, you're not sitting like this in silence, you're not being suppressed. You're not being told that you can't say what you want to say. If you have an opinion and you express it, you are articulating your internal thoughts out loud. And the men that do this are the ones that shake the ground. These are the men that change the world. These are the men that change people's lives. These are the men that you remember. These are the people's names you remember. Who had opinions? Martin Luther King, he had many opinions. He said them out loud. He changed the world. Winston Churchill had opinions. He said them out loud. Not everyone agreed with them, but he said them out loud. There are many, many men that you remember because of what they said out loud, and it was because they were giving their opinion on something. So you want to sound more like a man? Have an opinion. Learn. Brush up on your knowledge. What else do you do to sound like the man? Well, there are technical things that you can do. And that is being grounded and rooted, unshakable, in a stance where you can't be knocked off, where you're in a position where if anything comes towards you, you are able to deflect, you are able to receive, you are able to parry. You're about to engage in a verbal battle. You want to be someone who is in a correct stance. If you're stood like this, it looks like you're about to take orders. If you stand like this, it looks like you're about to give the orders. This is how you sound like the man that people want to listen to, because of the way you position yourself, the way that you stand in front of people, the way that you ground yourself into your environment, the way that you take over the space you're in, the way that you own your own space. And I mean energetically and physically. So I can reach out this far. Therefore, that's all my space, because I can grab whatever is in my reach in that space, this way, that way, up here, up there, down there. And then energetically, you can fill all of the space. And how do we do that? We become more aware of our body. And how do we do that? We come into the present. We do breathing exercises. We wake up the vagus nerve. We activate the parasympathetic nervous system so that we come into the present. and we enter presence and second circle energy. What does this mean? This comes from the school of thought that there are 3 circles of energy. The first circle, the second circle, and the third circle. The first circle is this. It's of the past. It's lazy. Oh no, I don't want to do this. It's that hiding. No, it's like first circle. It's of the past. It's backward. It's depressed. It's closed off. It's not good energy. Then we have third energy, which is out here and big and 2 in your face. Oh, yeah, I know that energy. You know it. It's American, very like this. Yeah. Again, it has its purpose in some places, but it also can scare a lot of people off. And these people think they sound like a man. They think they sound like the man. But for the most part, you're looking at them thinking, who the fuck is this person? And why are they taking up so much space? Overly taking up too much space. They're annoying, and I don't trust them because they have to overdo it in the third circle because they don't feel comfortable in the present. And the people who are in the first circle, well, you wouldn't trust them because they don't even trust themselves. So you have to bring yourself into second circle, which is presence. This is when you're alert. This is when you're aware of everything that's going on in your surroundings. This is where your breath is dropping in low. This is where you're able to have eye contact with someone and really engage and really listen. If you want to speak like the man, you've got to listen like a man as well. That means breath through the nose, being aware of what's going on in your surroundings. That'll allow you to take your time in what you're saying. That'll allow you to pick up on the nuanced behaviors of what other people are doing. You'll be able to catch things that other people don't catch. You'll be able to read other people's faces. You'll be able to read the words they're saying and interpret them in a way that allows you to gain more knowledge of those people. What else do you have to do to speak like a man? We're going about energy centers again, but a man speaks from his guts. A man speaks with his soft parts on show because he's not afraid to show them, because he knows that he's not afraid to be taken down for saying what he wants to say. He's showing you. He's got the guts to say that to your face. He speaks from down here. It's here, I'm on show. I don't have to overdo it, and I don't have to suck it in. A lot of people suck it in, and they cover it, and they hunch over it. But if you can speak from your guts, if you can open that up and have the guts to say the things that people need to hear, comes from this energy. And then there's the other energy. There's people who speak from here. You speak from your balls. This is where our ability to seduce comes from. When we put energy into there, when we think into this part of our body, we speak more like a man. That means engaging the pelvic floor, engaging that bit between the balls and the butthole, the gooch, squeezing that, feeling it, feeling into that area. We cut a lot of ourselves off from this area because we're shamed for our sexuality as men. That we like that girl and we like that girl, and we're not allowed to like girls or whatever because we're predators or whatever. So we cut ourselves off from our lower parts of our body because we don't want to be accused of anything, and then we fall into the first circle energy. But if you are present and feel into this part of yourself, not physically, but actually just like, wow, I've got balls down there. These are where my testosterone is produced. This is what is me. This is part of me. This is where I am energetically radiating from. I know people that do this, Brazilians, South American men, but predominantly Brazilians lead from the fucking balls and their cock. Like everything is about seduction. Everything is about leading from that part of their body. Some people walk around like this. You don't have to do that. You can just think into that area and be like, right, yeah, I am a fucking man. I am the man. What makes you a man? The fact that you've got balls. This is where manliness comes from, testosterone. So if you are able to energetically radiate from there and speak from there as well, you're going to engage with people a lot more. You're going to be the man that all women want, and you're going to be the man that all men want to be. James Bond was always played leading from the cock, leading from the balls. Everything was seduction. It's from there. There's energy there. So, energy in the body. Guts. Balls. We're missing a very vital one here. Our heart. This is where it all begins as well. This is the human part that is fundamental to everything. It's where we love from. It's where we radiate compassion, care, our ability to hold our child and go, yes, I love you. To hold our woman, to find her, to go look for her, to look for companionship. We have to go from the heart. I think you'd find a lot better situations in your relationships with women if you led from there and predominantly from here. If it's heart-led, with genuine interest and genuinely wanting to have a companion, you've got to lead and speak from your heart. That doesn't change the way you speak in terms of where you're breathing into. Don't let that be the common misconception that everyone thinks, that say it with your chest means that you breathe into your chest. No, you have to breathe into your diaphragm and belly. So that is a technical energy. Technically, we breathe into our diaphragm. If you've ever asked someone or asked a man to talk about something he is passionate about, he will be breathing deep. He will be supported. He will be connected to this part of his body. He will be excited to talk to you. His resonators will all be firing because he's connected to his breath. Sound and voice is coming through his body properly because he's connected and supported. Therefore, his words are landing. You'll be vibing. If you've been on a date with a man, or you are a man that's been on a date and you're passionate about something and how that makes the woman feel better, it's because you're feeling good. You're vibrating at a better level because you are allowing yourself to vibrate from the sound vibrating through you. So you can raise your own vibrations with your own breath and how you use that breath through the body, through your resonance, which again, your resonance is not being afraid for your energy of your voice and those vibrations to be outside of the body. You've heard a lot of men that probably try and tone their voice a bit down because they don't want to be heard. Now, as long as you're doing this in the present, you're going in to order the coffee, and you go in, hi, can I have an Americano? And there's a girl there, or there's someone there, or the woman behind the till is trying to serve you, and you're like, yeah, can I have a coffee? And you're not making eye contact, and you're mumbling, and you're muffled words. How are they going to know what you want? How are they going to know what to take your order as? So you have to not be afraid of being heard. And how do you do that? You need to work on your inner voice. Because you're afraid of your own thoughts and the voices in your head, which we all have. And if you can't bear to listen to them, you're not going to go into the world and open up your own voice to the world either, are you? So you need to work on that internal so that the external can come later. Because if you don't, no one's going to hear you. No one's going to be able to understand you. You're going to be stumbling and fumbling, and no one's going to understand you or want to listen to you. They're going to forget you. A man knows how to use silence to his advantage. That means he can say a lot without not saying anything at all. So that means being comfortable with yourself, like I just said, and sitting in silence daily in a room. Meditation. 10 minutes a day. You sit there. You just be comfortable in that silence. No fidgeting, no looking at your phone. Just what the world has to offer in terms of sound without you in it. And you being okay with that. There was a famous playwright called Harold Pinter. He wrote silences. His whole plays were about silence until sound is introduced through the character to tell the story. But most of the story was in the times that people weren't speaking. And life is pretty silent until we add our words to it. And that gives you time to think through the words that you're going to say. So, what else does a man speak like? He thinks before he speaks. He knows words have power. He knows that words go way back to the beginning of man and that they have been developed along the way, and that words have meaning. Words have weight. They can induce feelings in other people. One word to one person might mean something, one word to another might mean something else. The meaning of words can change depending on who it's said to or who it's said by. So he thinks about what he's going to say. He thinks before he speaks. And then he adds intention and action to when he speaks. Again, he doesn't say anything unless it's worth saying. Because he's comfortable with silence. He doesn't need to fill the silence. Because he's confident in himself. Because he's present. And he allows himself to think through his opinion before he gives it. So these are a few things that will help you speak like a man. Or the man. Thank you for watching.